All right, hello everybody, and welcome to our show today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. Today, we're diving into funding options for nonprofits. So, a lot of people come to us and ask, how can I get money for my business, even if I am a nonprofit? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I realize that we have never today ever actually had any training on all the funding that's out there for businesses that are nonprofits. So, today, we'll be diving into that. If you're interested in getting funding through any of these options and more that we're not even going to have a chance to dive into, you can visit us online at creditsuite.com/get funding. That's creditsuite.com/get funding. For those that don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall. I'm actually the CEO of Credit Suite. And Credit Suite, this is what we do. We help business owners get capital. We do it by helping you improve your fundability, by building business credit, and by getting financing. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of the different ways you can get financing for your business. So let's talk about nonprofits and financing. So getting working capital to grow a nonprofit is not that hard to do if you know the right sources to go from. There's actually a lot of different funding options out there. You just need to know the ones to go to, and you need to know the ones that you need to stay away from. Okay, some of these will work for you even if you're a startup. Some of these will work for you even if you have credit issues now. So even if you are in one of those boats or both of those boats, we're still going to talk about options that may work for you. The key here that we're going to talk about is you've got to play to the nonprofit's strengths. Okay, that's what it really comes down to. Just like any business that's looking for funding, there's certain things that will make you fundable. There's certain things that will not make you fundable, and you're going to be focusing on the things that will make you fundable. Okay, so let's talk about grants. Now, like scholarships, these do not have to be paid back. Grants are a great way to go for nonprofits because a lot of people that give grants are wanting to help people that are underprivileged or people that are often the same people that nonprofits are designed to actually help. Okay, but the organization generally have to show experience in what they propose. So when it comes to grants, they're going to want to see you have some kind of experience in the actual business that you're actually working on. Andy says, sounds like waves or like you're underwater with the sound. All right, so let me try one more thing, Andy. Give me some feedback. For some reason, of all this new format, I'm still trying to get the audio portion of this worked out. The audio is still a little tough to get figured out with this new format that we're using to film YouTube, but let me know if that's a little bit better. Hopefully that adjustment will work. If not, I'm still working on fine-tuning this audio. So governments often have lists of grants that they're ready to give out, and you can get those right here, grants.gov/learn-grants /grant eligibility.html. And if you're watching this live on YouTube, I went ahead and put that. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that feedback. I'm messing with audio settings now to try to get that figured out. So appreciate your feedback and what's up to you as well. So grants.gov/learn-grants/grant eligibility.html. There's a great list of grants that you can get for your business as well. Now, there's a lot of paperwork when it comes to filling out grants. You're going to need to fill them out a grant proposal for every grant that you fill out, kind of like a business plan. But again, I think these things have a lot of value because knowing who your audience is, your demographic, the demographic you're going to serve, who your competition is, these type of things are needed for a business plan and for you to kind of have a trajectory of your business. And they also are going to help with grant proposals as well. And you're typically going to want a local address if you are applying for a county or a regional or a statewide grant, those type of things that are in a local area. And you want to write a clear and short, concise cover letter for your grant as well, not to ramble or anything like that. And check delivery requirements. A lot of times when you're filling out these grant proposals, they want them back by mail. But again, that differs between each one that you're applying for. Okay, so, and Andy's saying the audio is still going in and out. I'm going to try to make some settings and try to work with me here again. We have a new format through YouTube that we're trying to film these videos since we no longer can use Google Hangouts. So I will go back and listen to this audio as well, and I'll make some adjustments on the fly to try to get this to improve a little bit more for all of you out there. Okay, so the federal government wants to hand out money for urban projects. Try HUD. So if you're in an urban area, look at Housing and Urban Development grants. Okay, you also, the Funding Opportunity Act, and there's the Funding Opportunity Act number, not that you need to know. Okay, also has to do with the affordable housing grant. So if you're in the finance sector for housing, that's a great place to go as well. Okay, here's another funding opportunity, the Jobs Plus Initiative, and that's FR 6100N14. That's called the Jobs Plus Initiative. It's a great grant to look into. Also look into FR 6100N07. Okay, that's the capacity building for community development and affordable housing grant. So if you're in the housing sector, that could really help. You can also search for HUD grants right on their main website, which is portal.hud.gov. That's portal.hud.gov. Now, if a nonprofit isn't related to housing or city development, it's not going to get approved. So keep that in mind with HUD. And there's also notice of funding availability, which includes the contact where to send an application. That has to do with the kind of funding that's available for you. If you're applying for more than one HUD grant, it has to be a separate application under the correct NOFA. Just know that. You have to apply multiple times if you're applying for more than one federal grant. But you also want to try the USDA if you're in the rural area. Okay, Program 101 is the Rural Business Development Grant. Program 101 is a Value Added Producer Grants as well. And you can find those at USDA.gov. So when we talk about these, this really has to do with the type of area that you're actually listed in, or are you in a rural area or not. Okay, so there's different kinds of federal grants depending on kind of where you're located out there. Now, the USDA gives grants for low-income housing, rural developers, housing preservationists, and providers. So you can also go to rd.usda.gov. That's rd.usda.gov and take a look at a lot of the USDA grants. So I love grants because it's free money. All you have to do is be willing to fill out the grant proposal. And let's be honest, a lot of people are not willing to fill out that grant proposal. So the nice thing, if you are, is you're able to get in on a lot of these grants that other people just don't have access to. Also, let's look at state and local grants. So local governments also provide grants such as the Florida Small Business Grants, North Carolina Small Business and Women and Minority-Owned Grants. You can find them at grantwatch.com. Now, obviously, those examples are for Florida and North Carolina. But again, what's interesting about these state and local grants is that they're local and state grants for your state, for your county, for your area. So what you want to do is you want to do some research to find the grants that are just available in your state or in your regional area. The smaller of a geographic area that you're looking for grants, like only grants in Florida, well, then the more advantage you have because only those grants in Florida are being applied for by Florida applicants. So it's a much smaller pool trying to compete for that money. Okay, and again, tri-city and state websites as well, beyond looking online. These are often less restrictive than a lot of the other ones that you're going to find as well. So you want to show the project that's going to help the community. That's the key to getting money here. You want to try to partner with local businesses if you can as well, okay, or offer a partnership to the state, city, or town. You got to keep in mind that when it comes to small businesses, cities, towns, states, everybody's got the same objective. Cities, town, states want business to come in because when business comes in, jobs come in. When jobs come in, people want to live there, and then everything else happens, right? People buy houses, people pay taxes. And that's what they're really looking for. But it all starts with people being able to get employment. So if you can show that you're helping the community, if you can show you're creating jobs, then that's what these local, state, and these community type grants are really looking for. That's really the key to success there. So you also want to ask your local government for support for a project. They can also step up and help in times, give you things you need to get the project off the ground while helping you obtain a grant. And you can go to hudexchange.info for more information. So that's where you can get federal money for state and local projects with the HUD Investment Partnerships Program. Okay, it's called the HUD Investment Partnerships Program. And you can go to hudexchange.info for more information there. Guys, look, what I've told you alone to this point is worth its weight in gold. And we've taken all this information online about all these different places to get grants, these different grants that are available for entrepreneurs, and put it together in one place here. So even if you're not a nonprofit, these are great opportunities to go for-profit businesses as well, because again, not a lot of people are competing for these grants. So it's free money that doesn't have to be paid back. And then a lot of cases, you have a better chance of getting approved for these than a lot of other kind of financing that's out there. Now, another great option for you is crowdfunding. So services like GoFundMe, for example, are great places to put your project to raise money for that company or project, especially if you're a nonprofit. A lot of nonprofits are pursuing very good causes, and if you have one of those really good causes, then you really want to make sure that you're going to crowdfunding to get it out there. Okay, now keep in mind that crowdfunding in places like this, you want to make sure that you're reading the fine print. Okay, you need to decide how much you're actually going to need, the length of your campaign. You need to see how much they're going to charge. On average, about these crowdfunding platforms like GoFundMe charge about 5%. But you need to see what their fees are. Okay, you need to know what your goal is. Okay, and you got to be careful as well. Okay, because in a lot of cases, these projects, you can't get all of your money unless you reach that financial goal you set. So that's called fixed or flexible funding. Some crowdfunding platforms will let you do flexible funding, And flexible funding lets you get all your money out of that project, even if you don't hit your goal, while fixed funding doesn't allow that. So you should be careful about that as well. So you're going to probably need a good video to get a good campaign like that off the ground. You want to be courteous to all donors. Thank all of them, no matter how small the amount of money is. Okay, present any evidence of success of your mission, or that the company is going to succeed, or what you're trying to raise money will succeed. Don't be greedy and ask for too much money. Again, a lot of those, if you don't hit your goal, you're not going to get the money. So that becomes very, very, very important. And again, you really want to make sure that you line up the most significant donors beforehand. Look, a lot of people hear about crowdfunding platforms or crowdfunding campaigns that go viral. Well, I hate to spoil it and ruin the magic trick, but the reality is that most successful crowdfunding platforms or campaigns were created that way to be successful because the actual person hosting the campaign lined up donors beforehand. That's what happens with crowdfunding. So in a lot of cases, it's not like you put an idea on GoFundMe, it went viral. What really happened that makes crowdfunding campaigns successful, there's two different components. It's first, you've got to make sure that you line up the donors beforehand. When that campaign goes to GoFundMe, you want to have all kinds of people contributing money very quickly. That way, the platform like GoFundMe recognizes there's a lot of activity with your campaign, moves it to the front, and starts giving you more exposure there than you would have before. So again, it becomes very important that you line up donors beforehand, and as soon as that project goes viral, start having them come in and contribute that money that they had already said they would. That's part of what makes those campaigns go viral. Second important part about GoFundMe, you need to share it. Okay, those things, you can't rely on platforms like GoFundMe to push it out and show it to everybody. Think about it. How many times have you or anybody you've known go sit on sites like GoFundMe and just look at all the projects that they're already giving people money, right? You probably never. I've never done that. I've never went to GoFundMe and just started going through all the projects looking at where I can contribute money. Where I contribute money to GoFundMe, like you, is when a good cause shows up in my social media stream, I look at it and then I go donate to that cause. That's when good things happen. So you've got to make sure that you know that the success of your crowdfunding campaign really does come down to the fact of your ability to share it with your social network. So you need to know those are the keys to success there. So let's talk about specialty fundraising crowdfunding sites. There's a number of solutions out there specifically designed for nonprofits. So CauseVox, for example, is designed to help a nonprofit create and grow a community around a cause. And that's Cause, CauseVox. So basic cost, a percentage of the platform's fee, which is pretty typical for all crowdfunding sites. Standard and growth take smaller percentages that add monthly fees. So there's two more. Standard is one of them. Growth is another one. So again, these are specialty fundraising sites that are really designed more for nonprofit. And you can go to CauseVox.com. So MobileCause and Global Giving. So MobileCause will run a fundraising campaign for your nonprofit. Okay, they will engage with supporters such as throughout text. You can go to MobileCause.com to learn more about that. Now, Global Giving, they're a platform connecting causes to donors. They offer corporate partnerships, and they're paid with a 5 to 12% nonprofit support fee. Again, very similar to all crowdfunding campaigns or platforms that charge similar amounts of money. You can go to globalgiving.org to be able to learn more about that. Globalgiving.org. So MobileCause, Global Giving, two more of these specialized platforms for crowdfunding that have to do with nonprofits. So Classy is a means for creating fundraising pages. With Classy events, a nonprofit can even put together road races, concerts, and more, all kinds of cool things that can raise money for that nonprofit. They offer a fundraising reporting tool to track your progress as well, and that's at classy.org. Now, another one you need to look at is America's Promise Alliance. They provide grants to help young people, okay, and recipients can be communities or organizations such as the United Way. You can go to americaspromise.org, americaspromise.org. So again, some specialized organizations that really cater to nonprofits that can help you get money as well. Now, Foundation Center keeps an enormous database of grants, grant makers, and recipients. You can find grants from all over the world for a variety of purposes, and that's at foundationcenter.org. So a lot of access to grants through that one organization, that one website. Now, CrowdRise is a part of GoFundMe. So you can create a nonprofit website with CrowdRise, which is nice. They help you create the actual website, which will help you get the money you need to run the business. And you can work on events or peer-to-peer fundraising through them as well. You can go to crowdrise.com. That's crowdrise.com for more information. Now, speaking of GoFundMe, they're perhaps the best known crowdfunding site that's actually out there. The sound is cutting in and out. It's like riding on a wave. It does sound a lot better. Okay, so I'm working on it. Guys, I'm still having some issues with my audio for some reason, and I appreciate your patience. What happened was YouTube cut out or Google Hangouts. So now we have to go through a third-party service, which we've almost got dialed in. We can see comments, everything's good. We're still having some audio issues, so I wanted to see if some changes we made today work better, but it doesn't look like it is. So what I will do is I will fine-tune our results here, and then let me make one more change, and then hopefully things will get better for us on our next stream. So stick with us. So GoFundMe, again, perhaps the most popular product site that's out there. No platform fees. GoFundMe makes about 2.9% payment processing fee on what you collect. And they offer fundraising tips and ideas so you can maximize your results. And that's at GoFundMe.com. So don't forget, you can also build business credit. If the nonprofit founder doesn't have a good FICO score, you don't want to use that to get funding for the business. Well, then that's a great way to build business credit, because a big nonprofit can be building business credit and do it regardless of the owner's FICO score. So because business credit can help a nonprofit at any stage, it makes a lot of sense for you to consider as well. Okay, it's a great way to get money if you don't have cash flow, you don't have credit, you don't have collateral, or you don't have an owner that wants to supply their credit to be able to get approved. And it's also a great way for a guarantor as well. So you can smooth out funding peaks and valleys in between fundraising campaigns. Look, what's nice about business credit is you're able to get $10, $20, $30, $40,000 individual limit accounts without having to have the cash flow, credit, and collateral that you need for most other funding. So it works great for a nonprofit, and the fact that you're a nonprofit won't restrict you from getting business credit as well. And as I mentioned, you can get it without a personal guarantee. You can get it without a personal credit check. Okay, because it's linked to your EIN, not your personal social security number. And you can get it even as a startup business as well. So it makes a lot of sense for you to be able to get business credit. And you can start with vendor credit. Okay, this is starter vendors like Uline, Quill, get these office supplies, a lot of the stuff you need to get the basic business off the ground. Those take about 60 days to report. That'll give you a business credit score and profile. Okay, and that means you're able to come in, get vendor credit for the stuff you really need. You can get places like Uline and Quill and Gimplers and Granger. It's fast, easy. There's no consumer credit pull. And then again, you can get the first 5 to 8 of these accounts fairly easily. And so ones like Uline, Quill, Granger, when you have about 5 of these type of accounts, that will establish a credit profile and establish a credit score for you as a nonprofit. Then that helps make you more lendable, because now the actual business has its own commercial credit report and score. Okay, now the next nice thing about that is once you have 5 to 8 accounts, then you're able to go get credit with most major retailers, places like Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, and almost every major retailer offers this kind of corporate credit. The nice thing about that is that most of the stuff you need to buy, you can buy at places like Walmart. You can buy at places like Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. So the nice thing is you're able to get the money that you need to build the actual business you need to build using business credit without the cash flow, credit, or collateral that you often need to get a lot of types of loans. Now you get about 8 to 10 accounts, you can start getting fuel cards, cards for maintenance, cards for repair. Again, this might not make a lot of sense for you, okay, unless you are actually to a point where you actually have a lot of vehicles on the road. So if you have a lot of vehicles on the road, well, then it makes sense. But if you don't have a lot of vehicles on the road, well, then fleet credit might not be the best option for you. But if it's something that you need, it's something you can get the money for. And of course, business credit ends with you getting cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express cards that you're able to use anywhere. Okay. So that being said, that kind of wraps up a lot of the funding for the nonprofit. Now, a cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, when it comes to business credit building, comes in about 3 to 6 months in is when you're able to get both of those as well. Okay, and let me try one more change here on the audio to see if this makes any other kind of difference. So again, the nice thing about Cash Credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, you get almost anything you need with those kind of credit cards that you can't get in stores to buy the stuff that you really need. So let's recap here. There's a lot of options for grants out there. Nonprofit organizations can also do fundraising via crowdfunding platforms and online databases and networks of nonprofits and donors. Now, business credit can help you as well on any stage, and nonprofits can also pay their bills and improve their facilities without having to depend on the generosity of donors when it comes to business credit. So a lot of nice things. So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about private organizations that just have to do with funding for nonprofits. We talked about private organizations that set up things for you like websites. And we talked about specialized crowdfunding platforms that work just for nonprofits. We talked about a lot of different grants, all the way from a federal to a local to a regional level to a state level that are all available for you. We talked about business credit as well. And if you're tuning in on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/credit suite, you'll see there's a lot of other options that we dive into that can work for you as well as a profit or a nonprofit. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a ring, 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487. Our email is info@creditsuite.com. That's info@creditsuite.com. And you can also get approved immediately as a for-profit or nonprofit company at creditsuite.com/get funding. And don't forget to check out the top right of our website as well at creditsuite.com. There you have all our links to social media. We show you tips daily on places like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We go live on Facebook and YouTube for the most part weekly. We're working on some of our live connections and getting those built back in. We have a podcast you can listen on the go. We are all about giving you information that helps you get money for your business and helps you improve as an entrepreneur. Money that or a training that helps you become the best business owner to make the most money for your organization. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your patience with our audio issues. We will get this worked out in the near future where this audio is seamless. This is the second live stream. We've even been able to get video live on YouTube, and we're working on the audio. So I appreciate your feedback, and thanks for your patience as we get that figured out, everybody. Have a great day.